"100 years, that's a long time." It's interesting because I was kind of thinking about back when I took over the company in 1989. It was at that time only 64 years, but then suddenly 36 years passed so quickly.
Desmond Insurance Brokers is where I have spent the last almost 30 years of my professional life. This is a family-oriented company, and I would not want to be anywhere else. We have a tremendous team led by Mair, who has been the anchor of this company for as long as I have been here.
Desmond Mair Insurance Brokers is a family business that, providing insurance guidance to those that are in need of or interested in transferring the financial risks to insurance companies. And so we provide them guidance and to ensure that their needs are properly covered. There are several types of risks, and not only there is financial risk, but there is risk of health, risk of life. But we mainly focus on financial risks, which is tied, of course, to assets that persons might have or companies. And they are risks that are tied to perils, hurricane, flooding, fire. There are other type of risks that could be as a consequential loss, like loss of income due to one of these perils. There's motor risk also, and if you're involved in an accident where you might not be at fault, but you want to be protected financially, and that's where we come in to provide the guidance to the insureds to ensure that whatever risks that they might be exposed to, we can give them guidance of what risks can be transferred. So let me take you back how this all started. My grandfather, after returning from England and having studied accounting and auditing, he came back to Jamaica in 1924. And with him, clearly, he brought certain agreements to represent insurance companies out of England. And in 1925, he started Gerald Mair and Sons Limited, which was an agent for an insurance company in England. So it all started back 100 years ago. In 1958, he handed over the business then to my father, that's Desmond Mair, whom then took the reins and took the company to a different level. It was different times. So with the sudden death of my father in 1989, I came on board and then took over the company as the third generation. And from being agents, we evolved into becoming insurance brokers over 20 years ago. And here we are today.
When Gregory joined the company, his father died shortly after. And it was very distressing for him. And his mommy called me and said, "Shirley, please, I beg you, make sure that Gregory is okay." And I said, "You can depend on me." And we had a good relationship. We had everything worked perfectly.
So when I joined, the team consisted of Gregory, Shirley Scott, and myself.
Originally, it was a part-time job. It wasn't permanent. I went there for 2 weeks, and after the 2 weeks interval, Desmond asked me if I liked what I'm doing. I said, "It's a lot of work, but I like it." And he said, "Would you like to stay on?" And that was it.
She came in as a temp, and Daddy just offered her to stay on permanently, and then from there it's history. She became eventually a shareholder and a director of the company. When you talk about traditional, old-time, hard-working, loyalty, school, I mean, Shirley Scott is emblematic of that.
It worked out that I was 65 years with the company.
When you walk into Desmond Mair Insurance Brokers, you feel the family vibe throughout. It's something that we treasure and we maintain. When one hears the name Desmond Mair Insurance Brokers, they understand that our priority, first and foremost, is always our clients.
We have had a very good clientele, loyal, and they were happy to be involved with us. And we were also happy to have them.
Having built a strong foundation over 100 years, as we look towards the future, it heartens me to see that we are now focusing on having young and more dynamic people in our organization so we can safely and confidently hand over to the new generation.
I have 2 sons and a daughter. Hopefully one of them will be the 4th generation carrying Desmond Mair Insurance Brokers into the 100 years and over, you know.
The foundation has been set for them. The examples are there. And as we move into the next phase of Desmond Mair Insurance Brokers, and I know that Gregory is also putting the steps in place to ensure that our legacy continues for another 100 years.
That is one of the hallmarks of Desmond Mair Insurance Brokers now today, is that over time, despite all the challenges, whether it's economic challenges, whether it's by external shocks or internal shocks, we have prevailed. And we have stuck to our mantra, which is that we don't want to be the biggest, we just want to be the best.